So many countries are, of course, keeping an eye on that story, including the US. A congressional commission on China has sent a letter to Hong Kong's chief executive asking her to withdraw the extradition bill. So our next guest sits on that commission. Democratic Congressman Tom Suozzi is joining us now from Washington. Hi, Tom. Hi. Talk us through what the commission has to say about these events. You've heard our reporter on the ground. It's certainly very challenging times.
Well, Robin, thank you so much for having me on, and thank you for the close attention you're paying to what's going on in Hong Kong right now. The eyes of the world need to see what's happening in Hong Kong. The people of Hong Kong are used to having democracy and freedom, and that's all being threatened now by the mainland. And, you know, for years we thought that China would become more and more like us as they were exposed to democracy and capitalism in the West. And that's just not happening. And it's manifest right now with the way they're treating their own people in Hong Kong.
So what leverage does the U.S. have?
What the leverage we have is, well, right now all the talk is about trade, 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 trade. That's all the American people are hearing about in the United States right now, is the trade fight between the president and China. We need to do a better job of educating the United States public about how China treats its own people, not just in Hong Kong, but the Tibetans and the Uyghurs and everyone else, and also about what their long-term plans are. And we need to use the leverage that we have related to sanctions and the like to try and hold them accountable.
The human rights group Amnesty International says Hong Kong police have violated international law and actually made the situation worse. We have the senior police superintendent. He was asked when is it okay for police to use force. This is what he had to say.
Concerning use of force, I believe that if our officer is not encountering some threat that they are probably may suffer from serious bodily harm, or even our officer think that their life is being threatened, I don't think our officer has any necessity to use any kind of force.
Well, our reporters on the ground have said that the riot police were aggressive. There are 22 people in hospital. This is an administration that has not raised the issue of human rights very much, particularly with China. Is it too much to expect that they will do so in this case?
I don't think we're going to hear from the administration in the short term. It's really up to the members of the Congress that are paying attention to this right now to bring attention to the human rights violations that are going on, the jailing of journalists in Hong Kong, the rubber bullets and the tear gas that's being used today to try and hold people back, the torturing of people in concentration camps for the Uyghurs, the way that they've historically treated the Tibetans. We need to bring all of this to attention, because China has a plan for the next 30 or 50 years where they really want to dominate the world economically, militarily, technologically, on air and in the oceans and space. And people don't really realize what's going on. They're only talking about trade issues. And it's much deeper than that. This is a very dangerous strategic adversary that we're facing right now.
Yeah, well, many in Hong Kong will say this bill was about Chinese encroachment on Hong Kong's democratic traditions. For the moment, it has been shelved in terms of the debate. This is not over, though.
This is far from over. The idea of one country and two systems has always been in place, and right now mainland is trying to encroach upon that and have the power to extradite people, and who knows how they'll abuse that power. They've done it in so many other instances when they have that power. I think it would be a dangerous precedent if they were to be given that power to be able to extradite people at will. You'll see political prisoners, you'll see journalists, you'll see others subjected to unfair treatment the way they're already doing in so many other places throughout the country.
So what leverage do you have there on the Hill? What can you do next beyond sending a letter?
Well, right now, we need to call attention to this. We need the American people to understand what's going on and build the political support from both Democrats and Republicans to work together to hold China accountable and, if possible, put sanctions in place when we see them violating human rights. We really need to get the attention of the administration, quite frankly. We need the members of the Congress and the Senate to work together to bring it to the attention of the administration. We know that it's going on, but we need to put pressure on them.
Okay, thanks so much, Tom Suozzi. I really appreciate it. Great to have your perspective. Thanks so much for joining us here on CNN.
Thank you, Robin. Thank you very much.